Last time I built a device that sorts bolts by their length, because I had this box of M3 bolts lying around. But now imagine having a box full of bolts with random lengths and random sizes. But gladly, no one would do that, right?
Now make it sort my box of N2 to N5 bolts.
Make one that sorts by diameter.
What about a version that could run more
If you
sizes?
could make it to separate different libraries,
Just link the diameter.
0.5 and 3 and then 4.
Never mind. The first issue is that I don't have this problem, because I only have one size of bolts. So I ordered some more from M2 to M6. And did something you should not try at home. Mixing up all bolts. Now that I created the problem, it's time to solve it using 3D printing. Once again, I'm starting with moving walls to separate the bolts from each other. But this time I'm adding one more wall and make them thick enough to hold a M6 bolt. Thicker walls may result in smaller bolts stacking, but I'm hoping it won't cause any problems later. I chose M6 as the largest supported bolt size to keep the finished device relatively small. On the top I will add a piston to push them towards the next stage, like in my last project. The next stage will be this rail to sort them. The bolts will push each other and they will slide over the gaps that are too narrow and fall into the gap they fit. I want to power the whole device by a small motor. To transform the rotary motion into linear motion for the piston, I will use this mechanism. And I will use the same concept for the moving walls. Using gears I can combine both with using only one motor. But that's where I discovered the first problem. The walls are a bit wider to support longer bolts and because of the size of the hopper. This requires the piston to move a further distance and therefore a bigger gear is needed. Which doesn't work for multiple reasons. So maybe I can solve this issue with some over-engineering. This is what I came up with. I was able to extend the motion the piston travels without having to increase the gear size, and it looks neat. Then I added the hopper, the rail, some connectors and the trays. The printed version looks like this. It's just missing a few parts that I haven't printed yet. The mechanism itself works. Time to drop some bolts in here. But I discovered a few problems. The bolts can jam here. And instead of pushing each other through the whole rail, they get stuck here quite often. I tried it many times, but I wasn't able to sort a whole batch without them getting stuck in here at least once. I thought about making it a ramp so they slide down, but that makes them uncontrollable, and the results aren't consistent. So I wasted 2 weeks on something that doesn't work, but that's part of the process. Time for a new concept. The new idea is to just drop the bolts after the separating process into stacked modules with different sized gaps, just like the rail of the previous concept, but this time vertically. If the bolt is small enough, it will just fall through it, but if it's big enough, then it will slide out of the side. After I wasted a lot of time printing the previous concept, one of my Patreons recommended to simulate the functionality so I may be able to spot some flaws before printing. The simulation won't be 100% accurate as I'm not really experienced in this, but it should be good enough. I started the simulation by dropping a few bolts in. After a few simulations I discovered a big issue already. While the module on top works great, they tend to fail more the further down they are. This is because the bolts gain more speed the longer they fall and then bounce in an uncontrollable way. Like here. Or here. I modified the idea a bit and now it's supposed to use just one module at the same time to sort out a specific size. Then change the module to the next size until all bolts are sorted. It's a small compromise, but reliability is more important. The gaps need to be slightly wider than the biggest bolt that has to fall through it. But keep in mind that the bolt heads may have different sizes. According to the standards, a M5 bolt should have a 8.5mm head, but my bolts have 7.75. But before we print it, let's talk about the motor. I chose this one because it doesn't need any soldering. It requires 5V, so I should be able to use a power bank for it, and it has 59 RPM, which is not too fast and not too slow. And you can buy it directly from MakerWorld. After printing and assembling the parts, it's time to test it. I'm starting with the M6 module. That means all M6 bolts should land in this container. Everything below M6 should land in here. A few tests later, it has an estimated error rate of 8% after all modules. So out of 100 bolts, 8 land in the wrong container. One way to get a better result would be to just use the container and sort them again. But I'm not satisfied with that. I tried a few different variations. Some were better, some were worse, but then I added a curve to the rail. The first test seemed promising. After a few more tests I calculated an estimated error rate of 2%. So out of 100 bolts you put in the hopper, only 2 land in the wrong container. 0% error rate is probably impossible as there are a million different ways how the bolts behave. Here are some more scenes of the device in action. There are a few more things I noticed. Extremely short bolts where the center of mass is near the head get stuck quite often because they fall different. The solution to that is to not use them. When the bolts get picked up standing, they may get stuck when falling over. This caused many jams for me. I fixed it by adjusting the clamp. Now the worst thing that can happen is that they stay here. The machine can continue to run and sometimes the issue fixes itself. What about other head types? I tested hex screws. Their head seems to fit with the current modules. And here you can see one of the two problems they bring with them. Because of the head shape, they sometimes get stuck in the printed layers, making the device stop. Pushing them a bit resolves the problem. Might be worse to smooth out the layer lines if you use them on a regular basis. Sometimes they have some problems rolling to the next wall. This usually fixes itself, but therefore it takes way longer to sort hex screws compared to normal head screws. Then I tested countersunk screws. Their head size is different, which requires you to switch some modules. For example, the M6 module has the correct size for my M5 countersunk screws. I noticed that they tend to get lifted standing way more than other screws, which itself isn't a problem, but once there are enough standing on top, they block the entrance for other bolts. Removing the clamp helps a bit, but the bolts get stuck in the module more often. They don't slide down the ramp really well and require some manual error fixing. The bolts are sorted in the end, but in that case it's probably faster to sort them by hand. You may have noticed this circular part. I was trying to find a way to easily connect 3D printed parts in a space-saving way. They require this small additional tool to push them in and lock it. I will provide modules for M3, M4, M5 and M6. My Patreons get exclusive access to 25 modules from a 2mm gap to 7mm in 0.2mm steps to sort out all kinds of bolts and screws. As a Patreon you will gain access to exclusive models, project updates, sneak peeks, and you will get your name in my videos like seen in the intro. The assembly is easy. Screw the motor to this block. Add the motor gear. There are two different lifter gears, one marked with an L and one with an R. They have a slightly different pin position to balance out printed tolerances. If they aren't aligned perfectly, the lifter will get stuck. At this stage, put the lifter on to see if it's wobbling. If it does, your gears aren't aligned correctly. As you can see here, the lifter here is wobbling because the pins aren't aligned correctly. Here is how it should look. You might need to experiment a bit here until it works. Now place the hopper on top. Use the 3 circular locks and the locking tool to connect both parts. Rotate them counterclockwise to lock them and clockwise to open them again. Put the lifter into the separator and check if it's moving without any resistance. Then connect the lifter to the pins with the gear while connecting the separator to the hopper. Lock them in place. Snap in the tray frame and place in the 2 trays. Now insert the module you need, lock it in place with a clamp and you're ready to go. That's it. If you haven't watched my previous video about a device that sorts bolts and screws by their length, you should do that, as one of my next videos will be an improved version of that one.